We have only 1/4 of all that operates in the brain, where the brainstem, limbic system, and right brain, it's all experience dependent. We have this one little small section that's actually linear and logical. And this linear and logical part of our brain, we've over catered to, right? And we've really put a lot of value on what this could do. And what we found is that the research suggests that there's, particularly in couples therapy, that there's like a 30% success rate, which a 33% success rate, which the placebo was 30%. So we really only increased the success rate by 3%. And then when we take it and flip it, and we put this sort of attachment-based, experiential here and now that really relies on a relationship, and also we bump it up from 33% to upwards of 80% success rate. Because we're tapping into more of the resources of our own attachment history in our brain. And we're using the moment by moment, which by the way is the most real that it gets. What's happening between you and I right now in this room is much more real to you than anything that's happening outside this room today, right now. And so the moment by moment has an enormous amount of power to be able to facilitate change. And so as we talk about EFT tonight, we'll understand that EFT is a very moment by moment, a very here and now approach to therapy. And not as there and then, though there and then does influence the temporal now, but the past is in the present, right? So even as the past is in the present, we invite it into the room because it exists with us as we engage our clients. So this is a new way of thinking about therapy, right? This is totally upside down. Like Christ is an upside down way of approaching the world. No longer rules and regulations to follow, but Christ flips it over and he embodies what it's like to actually live the life of Christ. And in so many ways, right? He embodies being wired for love rather than being wired for war. The act of compassion, Father, forgive them for what they do, goes all the way from his birth to his death, and this idea that Christ was wired for love and not for war. And right, so then we can see ourselves being wired for love and what that looks like. So I thought that was an interesting parallel. Does that make sense to you guys? Sort of how the incarnation is an example of how we can approach things therapeutically. And if we want to be part of the incarnation of Christ, right, we want to have solidarity with suffering as he did, then we have solidarity with suffering as we experience suffering with each other. Not as we learn about suffering, but as we experience suffering with each other. Okay, so in that vein, we pray for one another, right? In solidarity with one another, knowing that all of us suffer, all of us experience pain, and as we pray for one another, we enter into a solidarity with one another, which undoes the loneliness of pain, right? And so we come to class, we bring our prayers to one another, not just so that we'll pray for each other, but so that the suffering of one of us will have solidarity with the rest of us. And so we can begin to experience the emotion and the empathy, the empathic distress that goes from knowing that there's someone amongst us who is experiencing pain. And as we pray for one another, we undo the loneliness associated with that pain in the moment. Not necessarily just looking for a particular outcome in the prayer. But one of the things that someone asked me recently, why do people pray? And there's a lot of theology around prayer, why we pray. What do you guys think when people pray? Communication with God. Yeah.
Help.
Asking for help. Help. Yeah. Why else?
Conformed to the image of Christ.
Conform to the image of Christ. Okay. Yes. Why else do we pray?
Express your faith.
Express your faith in prayer. Yes. It's good. These are all reasons we pray.
Guidance.
Guidance. Asking for guidance. Right.
A way to connect with God.
A way to connect with God. Okay.
Sense of talk therapy, maybe.
Sense of what?
Talk therapy, communication.
Oh, communicate with God. Yes. Right. Okay.
It gives me hope because I know I can ask God and I'll receive.
Yes. So a lot of the prayer that you're talking about is direct intercession, direct prayer between God and yourself, right? So we use prayer a lot for communication with God. Petitional prayer, right? Asking for guidance, things like that from God. And then the kind of type of prayer that we do in this class, that's different type of prayer, right? What's the type of prayer we do in this class? I've not heard a prayer request since the day I got here of anyone going, help me to have better communication with God, right? What's it usually about? People that we care about, right? Things going on in our lives. And so that's a different kind of prayer, right? We're bringing it to God the concerns that we have, and we're bringing it to God, right? We're bringing it to God for the people around us. And so the way I understand prayer, at least from an attachment perspective, is prayer is preparation. prayer is preparing us to soften ourselves towards the people that we pray for. And the people, so like as we pray in this class for any of us, it prepares our hearts to soften us. So as I pray for you, right, the softening preparation begins inside of me. So as I come to you, I'm already preparing my heart for you. And so we pray for preparation. If we don't pray, those people are not on our mind. And prayer is a way of putting those pains and those sufferings on our mind. And as we pray, those things come to our mind, and then it begins to transform the way we feel and think about the things we pray for. And so if I've been praying for you, and I see you, it does something different to me. Right? I might come to you and I might say, hey, I've been praying for you. And I want to follow up with you. But there's going to be a sort of an emotional preparedness inside of me for you that will be different than the emotional preparedness I have without prayer. And so some of why we pray is because it's part of softening us to prepare ourselves for one another. So we can be more sensitive and we can be more attuned to what's going on with one another. It increases our level of sensitivity and attunement to one another. And from a Catholic perspective, that makes a lot of sense, right? Attunement and sensitivity are incredibly important to our capacity to be able to offer competent responses. And so because I prayed, I might be picking up on things that you're going through or experiencing in a way that I wouldn't have had not prayed for you. Does that make sense? Prayer's preparation? Yeah, I've never thought of it that way, right? Like this is actually preparing me. This is doing something for me in this relationship that I prayed for. But those that I pray for, somehow I would be different too when I ran across them. There's a lot of focus around prayer for petition, which is asking God for all sorts of things. But prayer may be more for us to be an avenue of answering someone else's prayer for unsoftened hearts and awareness of one another. So in that vein, we pray tonight, right? We pray this prayer for preparation. So we prepare ourselves for all of our clients. So we prepare ourselves for our schoolwork, for each other, right? And that God would show up in the midst of all those things that we prepare ourselves for. So let's pray. Heavenly Father,